Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Previously on Cognitive Recalibration. Okay, so the final list in order is Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, Ragnarok, The Avengers, then Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man 1, Black Panther, Spider-Man Far From Home, Ultron, Ant-Man 1, Captain America the First Avenger, Doctor Strange, Thor, then The Incredible Hulk, then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, then Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Thor the Dark World, and Captain Marvel. Hi, Ryan, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Shravan. We've got Taryn here with us.
Hello.
And we're joined by returning special guest, Kiriti.
Namaste.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So last time we did something like this, we had a cast of thousands. We had like 10 people on the podcast, and we did a tier list for MCU all the way from phase 1 to 3, and it was like a 3-hour episode, which I had to break up into 2 episodes. So today we're going to look at Phase 4 because Phase 4 is officially concluded with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So we're going to go back and we're going to do a tier list. Basically, we're going to have a comprehensive list of where everything that's released in Phase 4, including the shows and the movies, stand in terms of our listing. So I'll quickly go through what the tier list tiers are. So there's God, Great, Good, Just a Movie, Not Good, and Trash. So you would have heard in the recap at the start of this episode where the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe sits. So we're going to follow on from that, essentially. So are we ready?
Yes. Yep, I'm ready.
Sure, why not?
High enthusiasm here. We can start with the films first, and then we'll do the shows after that. So in terms of films, the first one that was released was Black Widow in July of 2021. Where do you think this one sits?
This one's not a terrible movie. It just probably released like 5 years too late, though.
Yeah.
Just in terms of where it sits in the timeline and everything.
Yeah, and I think also having that movie post Endgame is a bit of a cop-out to the character. It's just
because why make a movie once the character's dead? It just doesn't make as much sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terrible, though. I think it's probably just a movie.
Yeah, even
or it could even be good.
Even good.
Yeah.
Good.
Even
Yeah.
good. Because
the whole thing surrounding it was like Scarlett Johansson ended up suing.
Yeah, there was that whole thing how it released on Disney Plus, and then she.
Man, that case has caused this guy to get fired. You know, like, have you heard about this whole
Bob
Disney
Chapek.
thing? Yeah. Now the old guys come back to take over.
It's not just that, but there's a whole bunch of things.
But that was like one of the
did,
first things that just kind of spurred everything on.
Yeah.
A lot of what's happening with Disney movies, not just Marvel, is because of Bob Chapek.
Yeah.
So maybe Bob Iger's going to be a better Bob. Yeah.
We had to come out of retirement to come back and do the job, but I don't know how much.
That's what they say, but
yeah,
sounds like it was very tactical.
Oh yeah,
yeah, very tactical take back.
Yeah.
Which is just like
I don't know how much like control he has over Marvel though. I think Kevin Feige basically controls it.
Yeah,
but the whole streaming decision.
Yeah, that's
a Disney decision.
That was a Disney decision.
And all the TV shows that they pump out, like in terms of time frames, that is a Disney decision. Yeah.
But yeah, I think this one's good. It's it should have, like I said, it should have been released between Civil War and Infinity War, but they didn't do it. So it's kind of like an afterthought. But the movie itself
could have been great if it released at the right time. But yeah, given where it released.
I think the one thing that I thought was good, but they could have made it even better, was like the saddest part in that, we're doing spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So full spoilers for all of
The saddest part in that movie is what Florence Pugh's character is going to have to deal with when her sister eventually dies. And so, like, which is addressed, kind of semi-addressed in some other other shows.
It's in the post-credits scene as well.
But is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I reckon they should have made more of that, because, like, this whole show is after the fact, after Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch.
After Scarlett Johansson's character, Black Widow, like, sacrifices herself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and you're doing a flashback, you kind of need to reference that sacrifice and kind of, I mean, they do it in Black Panther a lot, right? As it, like, Chadwick Boseman's death, they didn't
really do that in this, did they?
Yeah, they just kind of, just like, yeah, it's kind of farewell, but it's not, it could have hit harder, I reckon. They had the opportunity to hit harder.
It's got some decent action and
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's just good.
It's a bit of a shame. I think her character's just been kind of a bit shat on, got better maybe a bit as the movie's gone on, but like, and then they're just like, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was an interesting movie to start like a new phase with, like a movie that's looking back at a character that's not even alive anymore. So it's, interesting start. So the next one was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I quite like this movie. I think it, look, it could even go lower end of God. I don't know if it's that good. It's either high, great, or lower end of God.
What do we got? We got God, great, and then good. No?
God, great, and then good.
Probably great. I would say it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good time with this.
Yeah.
I had a great time. Sorry. It's great. I reckon it's great as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think it's great.
Yeah. I reckon if the last act was better, it could have been God, but the last act's not as good as it could
If
have
that
been.
monster looked better. And
Yeah.
had better,
The dragon.
whatever the fuck
It was a
that
dragon,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it looked better or it just looked like
I think one common
tripping
theme
balls.
with all of Phase 4 is the bad CGI. In general, it's not good.
I did. I'm actually, personally, I never get really caught up, unless CGI is really, really shit. I never really get caught up too much, because I feel like CGI has gotten to a stage where I'm happy to accept it. But yeah, like with that whole thing, I know people said that. I didn't actually, I wasn't like, oh, the CGI is shit. I didn't notice that when I was watching the movie. I was just like, what the fuck is this dragon thing? It's weird.
I think, in Shang-Chi it's not that bad, but it's worse in some of the other movies. Yeah, coming up.
Yeah.
But I did like the cultural aspect of this movie. It's good. It explored another culture, explored another part of Marvel, explored this, like, what's that place called? Talau?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
had a really good soundtrack.
Soundtrack was really nice.
Like, not just, there were obviously, how like these movies have their hip hop soundtracks, and they also have the actual official soundtrack with the music.
The background
Both were actually quite good.
Yeah.
The background score.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed.
Yeah. And it was the first movie we watched out of lockdown. I remember, like, it was the first thing we did. They literally released the lockdown. We went and watched this. But yeah, I thought I had a good time with this. So I'd probably put it in great. It's not in the same level as, like, the God tier movies, obviously, that we've put in. Even some of the movies in great. I think we had, like, the first Black Panther and stuff in great. So it's probably about that level.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next is Eternals.
I didn't really like this movie. It's
Who actually liked it? Did anyone like it that we know? Did you like it?
I don't particularly like
Why
it.
is it you didn't
I
like
think it has some good parts in it.
Yeah.
Some of the characters are interesting.
I think it could have been good.
Yeah, it's
They killed off the most interesting thing in that movie in the most disastrous way, like the whole, that entity that was evolving.
Oh, yeah. At the end.
Yeah.
That's that was the most interesting thing in the movie, and they're like, "Fuck it,
The deviant.
you're dead,
yeah.
motherfucker." It's like, all right, well,
It had
It was
incredible cast.
had a good cast.
Yeah.
It was too long. It was way too long.
had nice pedophilic undertones. That's always good.
Yeah, but
It kind of
Sprite.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worse than just a movie. I wouldn't say it's trash. It's not good. I would say it's not good.
Not good. I agree.
Yeah.
Not good. It had some interesting things. Some things that were interesting enough to make it above trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
The main character sucks. She sucks at acting. I don't get the hype around her. This whole crazy rich Asians lady. She's
not
not
even
good.
the main character.
She's a frozen face. She like, I'm sorry, but she doesn't know how to emote.
she's a boring character in that movie.
Cersei.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's shit. But she was shit in Crazy Rich Asians as well.
I would argue that
Is she
All
in any
the-
other movies?
she's in Captain Marvel.
She was in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a side
Oh,
character.
she's in Don't Worry, Darling, which is a new
We
movie.
haven't
Yeah.
seen. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if she's just crap or whether she's.
I would say
getting bad
most
roles.
of the actors in that movie don't do a very good job. Like,
Even though
everyone's
they've got
pretty.
The one guy who does a really good job
They kill
is
him,
the fat
yeah.
Indian guy.
He
Oh,
was
yeah,
good,
yeah.
yeah.
He like legitimately has like this one line in that movie where he's
It's like a serious line. Yeah.
like
yeah, I
serious is like
remember- yeah.
thank. What does he say? He's like really emotional and like they kind of shit all over it.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's this weird. Like this guy honestly delivered it so well. And I was watching this movie, I was like, whoa, I actually like feel this for some reason. Like I feel, and then it just goes from that to just terrible one within 3 seconds. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And Kunal Nanjiani's
Yeah.
character's shit, so bad.
Yeah.
His character doesn't make any sense. It's like, whatever. I'm not going to choose a side, but I am going to choose a side.
And then he doesn't.
Doesn't, then
Yeah.
comes back at the end. He's like, it's just all over the place.
The one good part, and they don't really explore this at all because he's just like a throwaway character, was Kit Harington's character. And I think there's some interesting stuff that could come out of that.
Look, I don't know if they don't do anything with it. I can't say that's the one good part because they don't do anything with it. So it's
a
like,
scene.
It's just a scene. Yeah, it's just a post-credit
well,
scene.
he's like in 10 minutes of the movie, and I wouldn't say he blows anyone away in those 10 minutes.
It's always he's always a character that has some sort of sword fetish, huh?
Yeah.
Always. Game of Thrones, now this, whatever, if they do end up doing this.
I did like Angelina Jolie, but again, they don't really use her that
no
much.
one gets used enough.
Salma Hayek's not in it enough. Who's the guy?
Salma Hayek
Gilgamesh.
should have never got plastic surgery. What did she do to her face?
Who? Salma Hayek.
I really noticed it in this movie. Gilgamesh guy.
Gilgamesh. Yeah, he was.
It was pretty decent, but also
He was
doesn't
also
get enough to do.
underused.
Yeah.
Well, like they build him up to be like the strongest guy, and
And then he's the first to die out of everyone,
it's
other than Salma Hayek. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Richard Madden? Is
Richard
that his
Madden.
name?
Yeah, Richard Madden. Yeah.
even. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, not good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put it not good. Next, so end of 2021 was Spider-Man No Way Home.
I think it's.
So I think
it's
this movie,
great.
when it came out, like I think people were
I think
putting it
everyone
in
chucks
God.
it in God. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's
yeah,
God.
I think it's great. I would almost say good as well, but I think it's good enough to be great.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
great because, yeah, I mean, the movie doesn't have any legs on its own unless you have all this fan service. But
They did.
that's
it
also
well.
part of a movie. Like, it's kind of like it's able to. It's pretty rare that you get something like this where, and it's not like they're comics that they're referencing. It's
the other
actual movies. It's
yeah.
like the last 20 years of movie making has been kind of referenced. So I think that's pretty epic. It's pretty awesome. Pretty ambitious stuff to do. So I'll be pretty happy to put it in great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Bottom great.
Yeah,
Man, I doubt we're going to have many, to be honest, to be like bottom or top of great.
yeah. I think they did the cameo as well. So the next movie we're going to talk about, they didn't do cameo as well. So, but in this one, they kind of used the cameos well, and they had a bit of Doctor Strange in there. They had all the villains. They did a good job.
I feel like they should have milked the entry of Andrew Garfield and what's his name?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire. Like
Yeah.
they could have. It was just like very quick. It's like,
And they were both
oh,
at the same time, the same method. Like they just come through a portal. So I thought it was.
yeah.
They could have done that better.
There was some
Yeah.
awesome parts that they could have actually spent more time on, and they could have spent maybe less time. At the start, I don't know. I mean,
I think MCU needs to go away from like big scenes just being people coming out of portals as well.
Yeah.
Like every
Oh, yeah,
big
true.
MCU scene is someone coming out of a portal.
Yeah. Yeah.
you just need to kill Doctor Strange. Let him die. Let that whole order die. There'll be no more portals.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Doctor Strange, so we'll put that one in.
Apart from Miss
Miss America, Captain Mexico.
Mexico coming out of-
You weren't there for that conversation, but yeah.
Weren't you there?
No, I wasn't. I watched this. I watched
The greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
in New York. But yeah, so we'll put that one in great. The next one is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So I've heard of this Captain Mexico thing. I've heard what was spoken, but
it's awesome. It's a nice racially charged joke that every now and again, taking inspiration from Kanye West.
So this movie, it definitely should have been better than it was.
I don't think it's terrible. I think I had high expectations for it and very much let me down.
Yeah, I'd say good.
I'm going to say just a movie. I don't think it's good. I think it's just a movie.
Would I watch it again? Yeah, I probably won't. Actually, yeah. No. Now I think about it, yeah, just a movie. Just a movie because of the villain was just the whole arc of
doesn't really
Scarlet
make
Witch
sense, does it? Yeah.
It's like you can't.
I thought she was very menacing in the movie, but
Mate, they
like
shat
everything,
all over her. Oh, we're doing shows at the end. It's like this movie shat all over that show.
the WandaVision,
Yeah.
And even I think a lot of people are going to rate WandaVision much higher than I am. I think it's great concept, terrible execution. But I also think that whatever conclusion they came to in WandaVision, like as derived as it was, they just immediately shut all over it. And
yeah.
I was like, well, what's the point of any of this anymore?
Why make a show and then not follow through with what happens?
It's not even a movie. Yeah. It's like a show purely based on how someone is trying to deal with trauma and, trying to end up as a certain person by the end of it. And they're like, well, fucking guess what? You're turn Eva. You have PTSD. You're going to turn into a serial killer. That's what it is. It's Jeffrey Dahmer is what she does. Jeffrey Dahmer's everyone in the universe.
I wasn't a fan of Wanda in this movie. I think they made her too overpowered as well. Because Doctor Strange, we saw what he did in Infinity War. So he's a pretty formidable hero. In this state, he just gives up. Like at one point, he's like, "Oh, I can't fight Wanda." I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I feel like Doctor Strange would have been able to put up a big.
It's not enough multiverse.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like it's like three. There's like three universes. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that it definitely didn't live up to the title, Multiverse of Madness, and also I feel like it was 2 hours. I feel like it could have been a bit longer.
I did like Captain Mexico though. I thought she was good.
Yeah, she was. It's just.
But her turn at the end where she's like, "Oh, I can't use my powers," and then she's like, "Nah, I can use my powers now because Doctor Strange has given me a talk." It just happens way too quickly.
Yeah.
And is she learning to become a?
Why did she have to be in
magician?
This movie? Because Doctor Strange can go through universes anyway. Like I always find it funny that she's right. Like he can.
He can't go through the multiverse.
He can't.
No.
So what are portals just within your own universe?
Yeah.
I thought this would be a follow-on from No Way Home because like something happened in that movie.
But
right,
he did, yeah. He pulled through. Yeah, I mean, I thought that would be the link, right? I mean, he was doing his magic spanned the multiverse when he did that spell in No Way Home.
I think he messed it up though. I don't know.
Or maybe he hasn't figured out how to
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like basically it's not connected to No Way Home because in this it's America Chavez that does that stuff.
So originally, America Chavez was meant to be in No Way Home, and she was meant to be the person that brought through. They actually shot scenes with her in No Way Home.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
But then it got cut out, and they changed it
To Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
that would have.
But I don't know if it makes sense anyway, because he doesn't meet her until this movie. So does No Way Home happen before, after this movie? Then, like, none of it makes any sense if you think too deeply into it.
It's got to be before because of his reaction to the multiverse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, it's just a movie. Let's move on.
Yeah. Next is Thor: Love and Thunder.
So I think this could comfortably go into trash.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
What a disappointment. Never been more disappointed by a Marvel movie.
It could be not good. Like
Could be
lower
not
end
good.
of
No,
not
it's
good.
trash. It actually is trash though. Like I'm not going to watch that movie again.
Yeah,
There's
I'm never
scenes
gonna
in
watch
that
it
are stupid. Like the last scene where like all the kids get powers. It's like, yo.
It's like a universe breaking thing as well. It's like, why wouldn't you just do that all the time then?
Why weren't you doing
Exactly.
Infinity War?
Yeah.
And he does it so casually. He's like, oh yeah, I'll just give you this power. Like,
Yeah.
Bro.
you would definitely use that in
my God.
Avengers or in whenever.
Thor nearly beheaded Thanos at the start. Like,
you would at least use it in Endgame
give your power to one other person and it would have been over, right?
Yeah. Look, I would, if someone was really arguing for it, I would be happy to put it in not good, but I'm happy to put it in trash as well.
It's trash. The whole one hammer's getting allergic, getting jealous of the axe or the whatever it's just like, what the fuck?
Mjolnir and
The other problem is the CGI is trash in this.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Was it? See, I never know.
It's really bad at this.
It's not good.
And also the fact that they casually introduce that there's all these other gods, right?
Yeah.
There's all these other gods, and and there's this reigning god, and you casually kill him or injure him or whatever. It's like, oh my God, you're taking the piss. You're like pissing all over the concept of these universes and these gods, and I don't know, it's a bit just shit.
And Jane Foster, I thought
shit. Oversimplification of a character. Just like, give her cancer. Oh, she can have this hammer now.
I just don't think they do anything with it. Like, she gets her powers, and then they don't even show her getting the powers, and then she immediately dies. So, yeah.
But why? Like, if you wanted a character like that, wouldn't you leave the fact that she's dying as like this reveal at another time?
Exactly,
and make it much more deep than that, and like why?
That's how they did it in the comics when they did it. Like, you don't know who it is, and then later on you find it's Jane Foster and she's dying. So that makes it a deeper reveal. But in this, you know all the information to begin with. So, yeah.
And I don't look, I mean, the comics might have their own thing, but if you just look at the movies, it's really random that she's like Thor. Like, it doesn't actually make any sense. Like, it only makes sense people are like, oh, it happened in the comics. So, sure. But the comics probably have some other, there's multiple comics. There's more context to what's happening. But here it's like, oh, so this person turns into Thor. What the fuck? Like, how does this? That's so dumb. That doesn't make sense, right? It's like saying, oh, you pick up one of Loki's daggers and all of a sudden this person turns into female Loki. It's like, what the fuck? It's such a random thing to happen. They didn't explain any of that. They're just like, oh, powers of Thor. If you have powers of Thor, you don't need to dress up as Thor. Like, it's just very, very weird, I
think that's how it is in the comics, right?
It is,
with the hammer. But anyway, like, it's just a very disconnected movie as well. Like, it's like, why do they even make this? Like, it's got nothing to do with anything else that's happening. It's self-contained within itself. Like,
this is the first time Packers just really fucked it up.
Yeah, and the comedy, well, we've sort of mentioned, but it's really bad. Like, it's not funny in this.
Or overused, the timing. Yeah,
especially Korg, which is Taika Waititi's character, is like, he was one of the funniest parts in the first movie. And this movie is just the worst. Every time he says something, it's like cringe. I think we'll put it in trash.
Trash.
Which would actually make it the worst movie in the MCU. Because
it is, yeah.
Because everything else was above this. We didn't put anything to trash in the first three phases.
How ridiculous is that? Ragnarok was in God tier and we put this in trash.
Yes. It's like such a big fall from...
Man, there's nurses in my hospital that were looking forward to watching this movie because of how much they loved Ragnarok, and they don't know anything about comics. They were just like, oh, Chris Hemsworth, I watched his last movie. It was sick. It was dope. I watched it twice, and they have no clue about Marvel, and they still don't. And they went and watched it, and everyone was like, what the fuck was that?
So Black Panther Wakanda Forever is the last movie in this phase. So I actually think this is probably the best movie in this phase.
Thought about it since I last watched the movie with you.
Yep.
And I don't think I'll put it as high as I thought initially. Yeah. Because in hindsight, I think there are some things that they kind of shit all over that is in Black Panther lore that they established in the first movie, such as the whole concept of T'Challa needs to do the whole warrior fight without taking the plant in order to prove that you can be a protector and you're a warrior, right? It's kind of shut all over. This movie not only just says we're not going to do it, but they kind of say, oh, we don't give a fuck about this tradition. It's useless. And I'm like, that was like a big part in that movie. And like the whole reason for that to exist is that the Black Panther is amazing not because of the power. You need to be amazing as a person. You need to be able to fight. And then when you take the plant, then you become something else.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, all right. In hindsight, I was like, that's a bit weird. I kind of shut all over that. There were some other things that I looked back on. I was like, could have been a bit better. I don't know. But I still thought it was really good. So I would say high, great. I'd be resistant. Oh, maybe I'll just say great. Not even high, just great.
I think it's better than No Way Home, but like
not much.
But not by much. I think Shang-Chi's better than this though as a movie. So I wouldn't say it's the best movie in Phase 4. I think Shang-Chi would take that. It's just very sad, isn't it? It's very sad. It's
it's a bit serious.
It's
long.
very long, too long, and the CGI is not great at parts as well, which is another downfall.
Really good villain though.
Yeah.
Namor was good, but then on the flip side, it had Ironheart, which wasn't great.
Oh, this is so bad.
Yeah, so it has some good stuff and then it has some bad stuff. So I don't know. It's overall it has more good than bad, but
yeah, and the pacing's weird. So it is a long movie, but it still feels rushed.
Yeah, well, nothing happens for about 2 hours and then everything happens. Yeah.
The logic there's also the logic in that final scene with the whole villain.
The arc, yeah.
Yeah, it turns very quickly.
Turns quickly, and they also like this guy who's like undefeatable. They're like, oh, if we take him out of the water, he
and
can't.
dry him up. Yeah,
but he's next to the water the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys should have thought of this better. Come on.
And also,
the funniest thing is like it's a theory. It's a theory. They're like,
it just ends up working.
Yeah, and they're like this whole plan is based on this theory. Anyway,
yeah, I did think Shuri was okay. I know people don't.
I didn't think she was great, but I think she was the best for the movie they had. It had to be her, and she did as good as she can in that movie that they had. Yeah.
So we're putting it in great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Along
low
with
grade, low grade,
like low. Yeah.
Grade.
Yeah.
Along with Shang-Chi and Spider-Man.
Shang-Chi's better.
I think it's probably on par with Spider-Man. Like, yeah, around the same.
All right, so that's all the movies. So next, the shows. So there's a few of these, but we'll whip through them. So first one is WandaVision.
Just a show.
Just a show. Okay, so that's like...
Yes, I agree. Just a show. I was surprised. I thought you would have said it better than that.
I think maybe good.
I've said this many times. I think all of these shows are about there or thereabouts the same quality.
I think WandaVision was shit. Like I thought it wasn't. I thought it was, beating around the bush for too long at the start, and the real core of it just wasn't focused on, and like had all these other things, and got rid of stakes. Like bringing back Vision was like bringing back Vision and making him go outside of her memories and actually
racist.
Huh? Only the white one survives. Yeah. But I was like, that one, that's just like, well, okay, so I guess that scene in Infinity War is fucking useless. Yeah, fuck me, right? Like, I didn't care. It just does this thing where it keeps retconning and shitting all over important scenes and important concepts in other movies. Yeah, so
I think just a show.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not good because it's shot well and like some of the character stuff's good, but overall pretty forgettable, and I would never watch it again. Yeah.
I think it's I don't mind putting in just a show, but I think there are some good elements to it as well. But retrospectively, like because we've watched Doctor Strange, this just feels like it's not that good. Just because
even without it, I hated it. Yeah, I was not a fan.
But yeah, I don't mind putting it in just a show. But I have a feeling we're going to have a bit of a trend then in this segment.
I think a lot of them will go into this. I think some of them are better, some of them are worse. But yeah,
what's above this? What tier is above this?
Okay. Good. So we put Black Widow in that. Yeah. Next is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
just a show.
I would go not good or just a show, but
I think it's below WandaVision.
It's below.
I reckon it's better, but yeah, I don't know.
I reckon it's below, but it could go in just a show.
Yeah,
or
I think
it could go not good.
I think it's
actually it's probably just a show.
It's probably just a show. Yeah, there's not anything that's explicitly like terrible in it. It's just not that interesting.
I think that's good in it as well. That's the problem. Yeah, it's just overall very average. Yeah.
I did like some of the stuff they were exploring, but it kind of just finished. Like they didn't really go deep into anything.
Also, having a lot of super soldier serum just lying around in the world just makes
defeats the purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. Then if you just make all these people super soldiers, it's like, well, then Captain America is just fucking another one, and like Bucky is just another one. It just kind of dilutes the special characters, and so it becomes a bit annoying. They got to get rid of that. They keep doing that. They always go back to, guess why this guy's strong? Super soldier's like, think of something else, you idiot.
I did like John Walker.
Thought he was a good character.
Yeah.
But used in a poor show.
And Zemo didn't need to be in this show, but he added.
That was a terrible use of character.
Yeah.
That was just like.
And the worst use of character in this show is what's that chick's name?
Oh yeah, Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter.
Yeah.
Like, what is she in this show?
What's she doing?
Yeah.
And what's the turn of her character as well?
Yeah. It's still not
Wait,
explained.
what the fuck did she do in this show? I can't remember.
She ends up being
She's the benefactor or something? The power broker.
Yeah, the power broker.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get people to watch it because there's all these characters from the movies in there. But yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. Loki.
Oh, also the costume design.
Oh, for Captain America. Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to fix that. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was trash.
So there is a movie coming up with him. So,
They'll fix it in the movie. Yeah.
well, we'll see. Maybe they won't.
I think Loki is good.
Good.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a low end good. Like, it's not amazing.
It's not that much better than.
It's not that much better than these two.
Yeah.
No, it isn't. But I think it is slightly better than these two.
Again,
it has
I
a
think
much cooler concept and has
Yeah.
far more things to think about, which is very cool, and introduces some new things, which once again just
Go nowhere.
go nowhere.
Yeah.
Up till now have gone nowhere. Could eventually, but yeah.
And then you also got to start asking this question, like some of the things that they say in it, what they explain with the timelines and timeline splitting and all that doesn't make any sense if you look at the other movies. Like, all of these movies have this theory of the universes and time that do not agree with each other.
Yeah.
They don't agree. None of them make sense.
Yeah. Like
I thought about it before and I was like, nah, this doesn't make sense.
Well, if you look at all the movies, like there's a couple of movies that deal with the multiverse and this show, and none of them, they're not even related.
Yeah.
Like there's no
None of them
interaction
are,
between
yeah.
them. So, yeah, I think that's like one of the themes of this phase is like this, it just seems so disconnected. Yeah. Everything's just like, doesn't feel like they're integrated in any way.
Tom Hiddleston's like why this show goes from just being a show to good, because he
it
was charismatic enough
and
to carry it.
Sylvie was pretty good as well.
And Owen Wilson was also good. Yeah. Like, I think the characters in this show are better than the characters in the other shows. Even though they're from the movies, these guys were actually better. Yeah.
But yeah, it deals with some complex concepts, but they haven't really come back to it yet. And it also
some
introduces
stupid things like, oh, look, this Loki is a crocodile in this universe. It's like, fuck.
That was just a callback to like comics.
I know, but it's like, oh dear.
But they do introduce, well, seemingly the big bad of
Jonathan Majors was really good in that one episode
Kang,
he is. Although it was a bit exposition heavy.
I can't even remember what his.
It was very exposition heavy. But
and if you don't know who he is,
it's
very just go over like.
Well, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah, so it's gonna make no sense as to what he is, but he is supposedly.
What is he? The Time Lord, the protector of? I don't know what's his.
So he's a time traveling. He's how many years in the future? Like thousands of years in the future. He's a descendant of Reed Richards, and he's
sure. Oh yeah. Oh, Reed Richards is in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Sure.
And he's meant to be super intelligent, time traveling, and likes to keep the way the time moves constant. Like he keeps track of everything that's happening. So
the way that's right. Supposed to protect the time.
So Endgame was meant to happen, essentially. Like the way it happened was meant to happen. Way. Yeah.
Okay.
But something happened the way it shouldn't have happened, and that's why he's getting involved. Which is in this.
Well, this whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah, okay. So we'll put it in good.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Next was What If. I mean, this doesn't. I reckon it's just a show. Like, it's just. I'm not going to.
Some episodes were pretty good.
I really liked it.
Some of them were good. Some of them were not as good.
Yeah.
The only issue is like with What If, they breeze over certain things very, very quickly. Like, I remember the one where Oh my god! I'm like, my brain's not working today. Vision / it's not really Vision, is it? It's Ultron. Ultron in Vision's body
Gets a
destroys
Infinity Gauntlet.
Thanos very instantly and just takes it and then starts going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's cool, but it's also like that's a very quick thing to just be like, oh, you know, it's like the how it should have ended things where like it's an oversimplification of things. And it's like you're taking the piss now. All right, cool.
I think Ultron is a stronger villain than he was in that movie. I think he was.
I think they'll bring him back eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You reckon they'll bring back Ultron? I guess
I think they'll bring him back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I think the good episodes and the bad episodes probably outweigh each other.
I do like the way they finished it, like where they bring all the characters
really
back together.
well.
Yeah. That was.
I think it was.
It could be good though.
I think good. I would say good. I enjoyed it. I would say that there were. When I look back on the show, I would think about more about how there were cool concepts and there were these episodes that were really cool, rather than those real boring ones with Killmonger and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones were no good.
Those ones are really shit. Like it was just like, oh my god, just release.
Do you think there was more good episodes than bad episodes? I'm trying to think.
It sped up towards the end. The last three came
The
together,
last
right?
three were.
Yeah.
And even at the start, there was one that was.
The Captain Carter. The first one was no good. The Captain Carter one was not good.
Well, that was just the same thing.
I really like the Star-Lord one where it's T'Challa instead of
Oh yeah.
Star-Lord.
I can't remember it. I thought that was shit then.
And Thanos is like good.
Thanos is good in that one. Yeah. Because T'Challa. Yeah.
Wins him over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon good or?
I say good. What do you reckon?
I reckon just a show.
Yeah, maybe just a show.
Just to show it is.
Next was Hawkeye.
I reckon this is good. I would almost put it in great. It's my favorite.
I really
one.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'd say great. But I know
a lot of people don't like
hate
it.
it. A lot of people hate it.
Yeah.
I just thought Kate Bishop was really good.
I
And
love Christmas shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's great. Wait,
Your
let's do another
Christmas.
review of Love Actually.
We did a Christmas episode.
Oh yeah.
We did Elf and what did you
I did Elf.
I
You
did
did
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. Yeah.
No, I did like so it's New York Christmas. I actually like Hawkeye. I know most people don't really care about it, but I
He's
think
the
it's
best character in the MCU, hands down.
and I did like Kate Bishop. I liked the cameo from Yelena
Who? Yeah.
Belova. It was fun. It was a fun show. It was lighthearted fun.
I thought it was really good fun.
Yeah.
Kate
But
Bishop
also had
and Hawkeye.
like the important.
Yeah, it
things
had
with Hawkeye.
Kingpin in it at the end. It had the what's her name? Echo
Echo. Yeah.
in it as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But also it had. I mean, Hawkeye trying to deal with
Yeah.
the whole ramifications of Endgame and what happened
Being
to him.
Ronin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important, and I feel like this show actually dealt with some important character things, where some other shows breezed over, like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier stuff, you know how the whole concept of him trying to get it, they kind of have it there, but they don't go into it enough. There's not enough.
I think a problem with most of these shows is you think a character's in a certain place and then they say they're not in that place. And then at the end of the show, they get to the place you thought they were already at. So, for example, at the end of Endgame, Falcon gets the shield and you think he's going to take over the role of Captain America. But then they start this show and they're like, no, he's not going to take it over. And then they spend a whole show just to say, yeah, he's going to take it over. When he
Yes.
was already there.
So essentially, you could skip basically all of these shows, and it wouldn't make any
Yeah.
difference.
But I think this one's good. I think it does.
This one is
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and there is some stuff. Like with Yelena.
This one's good, and it makes sense that he has an apprentice. Like, he's an archer. Like, that's it. There's nothing special about this guy.
Yeah.
Like, in a superhuman sort of way. And so it makes sense that there's another person who develops similar traits. And so it's not like the other shows where, someone else has the same powers as someone else. And so, you know, someone is superhuman and that's why they're connected in some way.
It's the same like
It's
skill
good.
set.
Just legitimately inspired by this person. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think it's the best one so far. In terms
I think
of
it's
shows.
great.
Yeah, I think it's
Great.
the best one.
Great.
Definitely.
We're saying
Yeah.
great.
Is it better than Black Widow?
Yes.
Probably. It's probably better.
I liked it better than Black
I reckon
Widow.
it's better.
All right, we'll put it in.
I would
great.
say mostly based off the charisma of the characters. It's just better.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has fun in this show. By the
Vera
looks of it.
Farmiga does well in every single fucking role she ever does. Full stop.
Yeah, she was good in this as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So great. Is that what we've
We'll
got?
put it in
Put it
great. We'll put it in great.
Yes.
I like it. I like the show. So yeah. After Hawkeye was Moon Knight.
This is where the trend really started. Of the show has a couple of good episodes to start off with, and it really just trails off afterwards.
Some people like love this show and they think it's like the best thing Marvel's done, but I don't know. For me, I just didn't find it that interesting.
The first 2 episodes were real good,
yeah, and I'd like the last episode, but it was pretty rushed.
but in the middle, it's just what the fuck. Yeah,
First of it was sick. That was really cool.
yeah.
yeah,
like-
and it keeps
and-
you guessing.
And also, it's a lot of you see it through his eyes. So like the camera like wakes up in the middle of this field, and you're like, what the fuck is?
And you
going
skip all the like parts where he's murdering people, and you're like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
yeah,
on? I thought that's dope. It was very, very cool.
yeah. And it's shot like this show's shot pretty well. Like it's got some interesting
Yeah.
cinematography, and yeah.
I thought it was quite good. I would say good.
I would say just a show for this one.
I think it's about as good as Loki. So I'd probably put it in good.
The ending was just got really convoluted, and it's like
I just don't think
I'm
it
gonna
really
hit this
went
person.
anywhere as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The question now, I always wonder, it's like, I don't like it when you have like these gods, right? And then you're saying that there's so many other gods there, and you're just like, well, okay,
yeah. It's
so
like
now-
Egyptian gods now.
yeah, like stick to certain people being special, and that's it. Whereas you've just casually introduced all these Egyptian gods, and there's so many. Like everyone knows there's so many. So now we know that there's all these people with powers or entities with powers in the world. And so it just kind of makes everything else seem not as special anymore. And they keep doing that. Like they did in Thor, where they're like, oh, there's all these gods there. There's one thing. And here they're like, there's all these Egyptian gods.
yeah.
Or you keep handing out, super soldier serum. It just like, it just becomes all diluted and really boring. And that pisses me off.
Nothing original either. Like they're going back to the same things.
I'm happy to put it into good if you guys want it. For me, it's just a show, but
Yeah,
I guess it goes in good.
probably good, but yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also completely disconnected as well. Like there's no mention of anything else.
And the last part of the show, was a bit of a cop out.
Yes.
Everyone knew there was a third guy, right? Everyone, it got
it was
teased
hinted
from-
through
It was
throughout.
hinted,
Yeah.
because stuff was happening. Well, it
It's
was.
getting heavily hinted,
Yeah.
the second last episode. It was like, okay,
Well,
just reveal it to us.
Well, there's one point where like I didn't do it, and the other guy's like I didn't do it. So there's obviously someone else has done it.
I don't think it had to, shows don't, Hawkeye isn't so much related to the rest of the MCU. It is, but it doesn't have to be related. Just, it has to be a good show. And I don't think this, even if it's not related, it just has to be good. And it's just not that good.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
They don't actually have to be related.
Yeah.
It could be a standalone amazing show.
Yeah, exactly. There's one coming up later that's standalone and it's amazing. And I think it's one of the best things they've made. But it's, it just, in its own entity, it has to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all right, but I just didn't find it that interesting. So,
Yeah, same.
yeah.
But I'm happy to put it in good if you guys.
What do you reckon?
I
I'm
think
saying
it's-
good.
I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
It is.
better than the other stuff in just a movie. So.
Yep.
Next was Ms. Marvel. I thought that was a good start. Oh, we didn't mention Oscar Isaac for Moon Knight. He was very good. I thought the casting for Ms. Marvel was very good.
I think Iman Vellani's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. She's got a charisma. All the casting, no matter how bad or good everything's been in Phase 4, all the casting's been really good.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I did like most of this show. I think, when they go to Pakistan in this show, that was kind of when it started to go downhill a bit. And then the climax of the show just...
The climax, the last episode of this is one of the worst episodes of anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, my issue with this show was it all looked artificial. Like there's too much of set Indian stuff or Pakistani stuff. You know, when you can tell that it's definitely on a set.
Yeah.
I could tell the whole time that it was just very set heavy. I'm like, why don't you just film
Like
it
all
there?
the Pakistan
why
stuff.
can't you just film it there?
The
Like,
Pakis- the
there's
All the
Pakistan
no issue.
Pakistan stuff's filmed in
a set.
a generic
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. it's like, come on, like you're Marvel, you can do this. I mean, they went to China to film Mulan.
Disney. Yeah.
Why can't they go into
That China, they went to China, but it still looks like a set, that movie. But,
Yeah.
I just don't think it's very good. I don't think the character gets
just a show for me? Whatever.
It's not good or just a show. This is the worst one for me. And I should like this.
The only thing I thought was good was the whole something about a hand.
The mystic stuff, right?
Yeah. But then they kind of demystify. They should have made it more. They should have made it more like more hard to believe or more mysterious. It just kind of gave itself away very quickly.
I think it's
for me, the only positive is Aman Vellani. Like she's good. Everything else, take it or leave it for me.
Yeah.
I think the second half does derail a bit, but I like the first half, so maybe just a show. It's close to good for me, but maybe just a show.
What's his name? You know, the guy that she's like interested in.
The Indian guy or the other guy?
Guys are useless.
The other Pakistani guy,
the
or the white guy.
No, not the white guy, the brown guy.
The brown guy. Yeah.
What's his name?
I can't.
What the fuck
can't
does
remember,
he
don't
do?
care.
And they like make him seem like the coolest guy.
Cameron, yeah.
Cameron.
Yeah.
They make him seem like the coolest guy ever. I'm like, this guy's every fuckboy that exists in Melbourne.
Does he lose the plot in the last episode? Like it just starts.
He lost the plot halfway
he
through.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, it was weird.
They try to make it like a teen show as well, where it's like high school drama, but then it just goes away from that as well. So it's not even that. I don't know what the identity of this show is. I just don't get it.
So we'll put it in just a show, I guess. It's not. There's some good parts to it, but
yeah,
overall,
what do you think? Trash or just a show?
I would put it in not good. Yeah,
we don't have that.
No, it is. There's not good, and then there's trash.
What is there?
There's not good. Yeah.
Oh, there's not good.
Yeah.
We put Eternals in not good.
I would have put One Division in not good. Doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
You put this in just a show?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, last one is She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Trash, baby. Trash.
I say it's
trash.
I could see it being just a show.
Okay.
The Daredevil episode's quite good. Look, I know you guys don't like the show. You haven't seen the full show, so you can't.
Bro, I can't.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I got to like third episode, I think, and then I was like, no, I'm going to throw up.
I know you don't like it that much as well, but I think
it's the epitome of MCU.
The humor in the show is not your kind of humor. I thought you might like the Daredevil episode at least, but I don't think you like that much as well.
I thought the Daredevil one was okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put this in trash. So I think it's not good. There are some good parts to it. I think that Jennifer Walters, what's her name? The actress.
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, I think she was okay. Like she did well with what she had. I just think the writing was just not
Is she
good.
Persian? Where's she from?
I'm not sure.
Looks, Middle East.
I think
But Tatiana.
I think some of the episodes aren't good, but I know Wong's in some, which are pretty funny.
Yeah.
But are they good? Like, who cares if people are in it?
No, I think the writing.
I think they're a good character.
I think
no.
I think if you're looking for a character arc, you're not going to get it.
No, I
If you're
think
looking
they could have had it, but they just didn't.
If you're looking for one, you're not going to get it, and it's not very. The last episode isn't very fulfilling on that part. But if you're looking, I don't think that's what they were aiming for when they made the show.
Why make her She-Hulk? Why make her She-Hulk and not focus on the hardest part about the Hulk, which is like trying to control it all, right? Like,
if you watch later on, she actually does find it hard to control it. Yeah. So she eventually
skipping so much.
She eventually does figure it out, but
not really. Like so she has a problem with it, but it's just glazed over. Like in the last episode, so because they wanted to be smart,
it gets meta. Yeah. So it does get there, but
she looks like shit.
Yeah, well, we can
the CGI was bad.
Agree on that.
Why does a She-Hulk look like that?
What
you're trying to make her like they're trying to. It's obvious that they're trying to make this like some sort of fetish. Like, why does she look like that? Why does like Bruce Banner look like this extremely muscular, huge thing, and then she's like in this semi-slender form. There's like hardly any muscle on her compared to Bruce Banner, and apparently stronger. Fucking get out.
I don't think that's proven that she's stronger, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I know, but they just like do these.
She is.
It's like, come on.
But she's not stronger. She won't be stronger.
She learns faster.
Tyrone gets triggered every time you say that someone's stronger than the Hulk.
I think they do hint that she could be stronger.
They don't, and they never will. She's not stronger.
He's so triggered. He's so triggered.
The reason people say she's stronger is in that first episode, they're like, how'd she beat the Hulk? It's like, the Hulk didn't want to kill his cousin. Otherwise, he could have
killed his cousin. The show wouldn't exist. I'll be very, very happy.
I don't think it's as bad as people say this show is, but I can understand why it's not great. It's not great.
You lose everyone where in the first episode where you're like, oh, this is how you become the Hulk. I mean, like that. The whole thing is like, oh, a bit of fucking blood to blood contact. Fuck off. Okay, firstly, there's that. Then it's like, oh, they have like this most pandering dialogues where, oh, you think it's hard controlling your emotions. I've been a woman my whole life. Like, yeah, like that's not the point. Like, but also like that's such a cheesy thing that every extreme feminist has said in their life. It's just like, why would you say it in that way? Say it in a different way, and I would get you. But it's just like, oh,
yeah, because they made it as if like it was easier for her because she's a woman, rather than like her having some character traits,
or that she as a person has previously had to.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree with that. Yeah,
it's like fuck.
It should have been more focused on her rather than focused on her being a woman.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think the character's bad. They definitely. We talked about this in the last episode. They had a choice. They could have done the character arc, or they could have done what they did, and they did what they did.
Yeah,
which
they do.
So they made it like this.
She like goes out of the show,
comes out of
and
the
then
show.
she rewrites it.
Oh yeah.
She rewrites. Yeah,
she comes out of like the Disney Plus app.
The wall and
yeah.
She rewrites. So which is, look, it's like Deadpool.
Well, it's like, creative in that, but I just don't think it had the impact they wanted it to. Because I think they could have also done the character arc with her.
Sounds like it was cringe.
And they could have done this thing. But
it was shocking. I was like, oh, they're doing this.
That doesn't sound very shocking, mate. It was shocking.
This wasn't that good.
The greatest shock of my life. I was like, oh.
I don't think I would say for me, it's about the same as Miss Marvel. But you guys kind of like Miss Marvel, so that would be different. I would say, if I'm comparing it to what you would think, it's about as good as WandaVision is for you.
But also, like, you guys can judge this one. I mean, I watched, like, the first 2, 3, and I was like, fuck, this is disgusting. This is trash. But I didn't watch the rest, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think it's not good. I don't put it in trash because there are some redeeming... There's some good episodes. But overall, it's not that good. And the characters it's just not that likable in the end.
1/3 of my vote. I get 1/3 of a vote. It goes to trash. No, it's up to you. Whatever. Yeah.
You can put it in not good. I would say just.
Well, it's the middle ground between trash and.
Yeah.
So She-Hulk. All right, so that's all the shows. Then we could do the special presentations very quickly. I think Werewolf by Night is probably great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I heard you guys raving about it.
And Guardians Holiday Special is probably
good. Yeah.
I haven't seen it either. How long is it?
It's like 40 minutes.
Oh, shit. What do they do?
It's not much.
Have you done a review?
Yeah. We did in the Christmas episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not much.
No, it's good. It's a good time. The Halloween one's a lot better, though. But yeah.
Why did they do it? Just to get people to watch it on the app?
It's like a Christmas special thing. It does reveal some stuff in there.
So, Phase 4, nothing in God. So, no surprises there. In Great, we've got Spider-Man No Way Home, Shang-Chi, Wakanda Forever, Hawkeye, and Werewolf by Night. In Good, we've got Black Widow, Loki, Moon Knight, and Guardians Holiday Special. In Just a Movie/Show, we've got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, What If, and Miss Marvel. In Not Good, we've got Eternals and She-Hulk. And in Trash, we've got Thor: Love and Thunder.
Poor Thor.
I think it's fair enough. Yeah.
What do you think's the best?
Shang-Chi, I think. Yeah. Or Werewolf by Night, one of those two.
Maybe Shang-Chi. I like Black Panther as well. For what it was.
I reckon Shang-Chi because it was just very clean. There's no like, you just know it's good. Like, there's no like crazy arguments. Yeah, okay. The monster was a bit weird, but there's nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't like
in Black Panther. It's like quite good, but then you have like
there are
weird things that you actually don't like. Or,
yeah, I think the highs of Black Panther are higher than Shang-Chi, but the lows of Black Panther are lower than Shang-Chi as well. It goes to lower. Like there's more deficiencies in Black Panther.
I reckon the highs. Yeah, actually, Shang-Chi didn't have like a crazy high.
Yeah.
The best part of
Really
Shang-Chi is that bus fight. That scene there.
That is very
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But it didn't have.
I just like the whole mechanics of the rings and how they show it. It looks sick. It looks very, very cool.
Yeah.
And his dad is a really good actor.
Yes.
Tony Leung.
They always kill off the good actors as well, like Mads Mikkelsen in Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
The guy who should have played Euron Greyjoy or Victorian Greyjoy in Game of Thrones, which they didn't have. Mads Mikkelsen is essentially every person does fan art about the Greyjoys uses him.
Oh, okay.
Because I think in some Viking show at some point he had a black eye, like he had a patch over one of his eyes, which is what Victorian Greyjoy has in Game of Thrones or in the books, and so everyone kind of loves him. And no, instead they decided to ruin my fucking life that season. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay, so best we'll give it to Shang-Chi. Worst, Thor: Love and Thunder.
wow, you would have thought, huh? The start of like this phase, you would have been like, well, there's a Thor movie coming, and then there's this random movie called Shang-Chi that you wouldn't have thought.
Yeah.
You'd think it would be the other way around, to be honest. Be like,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure whether this is going to be something pandering to Chinese audiences or what, but
Yeah.
turns out it was really good, and Thor shat itself.
And honestly, the shows were not as good
Shows
as
are very middling, yeah.
yeah, not as good as I thought they would be. Because I thought they would come with like something.
When Hawkeye's the best show, you know you haven't done
there's
that
something.
great. Yeah.
Like they're not competing with the best shows that come out.
No.
They're like very middling shows.
They're nowhere
That's why I
near
cancelled my subscription. I don't see myself getting a Disney subscription.
They just need to make the shows better. Like make it so it can compete against Game of Thrones or Last of Us or The Boys at least.
Or like
Yeah.
Stranger Things. Like
In the
there's so
meantime,
many better
HBO
shows.
killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the new one that everyone's like talking about?
Oh, I know the one.
Or
the one in
Young
Italy.
Sheldon.
No.
Young Sheldon. Yeah.
Fucking
White Lotus.
White Lotus.
Yeah.
Everyone's raving about it.
I've seen the first season of that.
People love that
It's
shit.
actually not.
I haven't seen
great.
it.
The
Have you
first,
seen-
first season's
apparently
not that
second
great.
season's.
Yeah.
Have you seen Succession?
No, but I hear that's amazing. Yeah.
It is. Third season gets a bit up and down, but it gets really good at the end.
Do you know what's a very underrated streaming service? Like that actually puts care into what they do? Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
Like everything they release, everyone says it's
Pretty good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Ted Lasso. Do they actually produce those shows?
Yeah.
Ah,
And it looks
that's
like
the
they
thing.
actually put care into what they produce and like actually make it good.
It's quality.
also,
Yeah.
does Warner Brothers owns HBO? Since when did that happen?
I think they always owned it.
And they still ran out of money for Game of Thrones? You fucking kidding me? That's bullshit.
Well, that's phase 4. Underwhelming, to be honest. But let's see what happens in phase 5.
I just don't give a shit. Honestly,
Yeah, I'm starting to not care. To be
I don't
honest.
give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I thought it wouldn't happen because of how well the first 3 phases were going, where I wouldn't give a shit. But yeah, I truly just do not give a fuck.
They need to make some good movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit 2?
Yeah. Hit 2.
Apparently it's very good.
The hit verse.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, let's
Merry Christmas.
wrap it up.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Christmas is done. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Cognitive recalibration at gmail.com or on all other platforms at cognitive recalibration.
Yes. And if you want to support the podcast,
.com.au.
You can put the AU, but it's not going to do anything.
it's not going to come to us.
Some other side.
If you want to support the podcast, you can do so by giving us a review on iTunes or Spotify. That makes us more discoverable on search engines. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram because we do Reels and TikToks.
Sick, mate.
Thanks, Kari, for coming.
No worries, bruz.
Cool.
Oh, still an hour. Wow.
Still an hour. Well, we were taking breaks in between, but yeah. Join us we'll be doing something next. We'll figure out what's happening next, but hope you enjoyed this episode and we'll Hope you're all staying safe. We'll see you in the next
Hi, Basker.
I'll
Be
get
awkward.
that in.
Be awkward if he doesn't listen to this.
Basker, you have to message us after you listen to this.
If you've listened to this, Basker, then send us a quick message.
Send us a dick pic.
Yeah. Send us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Anything, yeah.
Hashtag dick pic if you've got this far.
What are the hashtags you'll be joining? What sort of trend are you going to create?
All right, cool. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.